Mm-hmm. is my Twitch output down? I'm going to use the word discourse. I'm expecting to say that it's being taken down because it's not the internet. Anyways, hello and welcome. We're calling the Carl for Sunday, February 23rd. I have shit to talk about. And if you have something to talk about, feel free to call in and tell me all about it. Links posted and pinned in the tweets and in the YouTube chat. Let's go. Korra hate is back on the motherfucking timeline. And I'm so happy to see it. I am so ecstatic to see Korra hate back into the timeline, because it means as this new Avatar show comes up, more and more people are going to see how disgusting the show is. Radically hilarious how bad it is. I think the best part about Korra hate being on the timeline is that because the way that people think and behave happens to deal with the idea that an idea truly isn't dead in the zeitgeist until it has been murdered. The fact that people kept defending Korra, saying Korra is great, Korra is great, Korra is great, and every single writing decision of Korra is going to lead into the worst decisions of the timeline of the show that they're going to be watching. They will have no choice but to either consume Korra and understand how dog shit it is to then know how much they fucking hate it, or they're going to have to put in a lot of effort to fucking glaze the show and ignore all the parts that people have gone out of their way to demonstrate is fucking ridiculous and beyond the sense of being shit. I'm so happy and I'm so ready to see it, because we're going to see all the people who supposedly play and watch and participate in the fucking culture. And hopefully with that shit being dead in the goddamn ground, people will stop defending the goddamn show and let it fucking die. Because granted, an idea of a new Avatar show is whatever. Team Avatar can do whatever the fuck they want. But the fucking glaze of the comic books, the glaze of non-canon headcanons being identified as good headcanons because the show writers in question wanted to annoy people, it'll be gone. It'll be gone. And I will never have to fucking see it or hear it again. Almanac. Then on top of that, Hassan hate competing against the drama of I roll. Competing against the drama of Korra hate. Less happy, less respectful. Less happy and less respectful than what I would hope would hit the timeline. But you know what, I'll take it too. Namely, this shit. Hassan's molding while reading hate comments from his Trash Taste podcast episode appearance most recently about, I don't think it was the Blue Lock episode. Maybe it was. Anyways, he's just crashing out reading his hate comments. First off, it should have been obvious. No matter what you say about Giguk, Joy the Anime Man, and all those other fucking content creators that moved to Japan to have the Trash Take podcast, do away with any mysticism that they have opinions and that they are not directly controlled by the inability of the people in general and in question forcing influencers into conversations they need not be. Obviously, Hassan does not watch fucking anime. And the fact that the last time he had himself on the podcast, he just said shit that was wrong, and they let him say it. Well, couldn't happen to a worse influencer.
Mr. President, the second piker has hit the trash taste. Why would you do this, Hassan? Really? The terrorist endorser? Shame.
Notice he has no rebuttals. He's just angrily reading them because it's the same thing as criticizing them, right?
I noticed lately you guys are not up to date with the internet, but this is a whole new level of out of touch. Having an openly racist person on, downvote. Do not have him again, please. Holy fuck. Too bad I get irritated from just seeing his face. The guy has said so many profoundly idiotic things that I honestly cannot listen to a word from him. The brigade is on, folks. Get in and actively counter the brigade.
Calling for his audience to harass the normal viewers and watchers of a programming that he is a guest on. People seemingly not understanding this is what Hassan does. At the end of the day, he uses his audience as a cudgel.
They dislike botted the video immediately. Lol, it's at 2.5k dislikes.
Regular consumers of A I can't type. 1.7 million follower channel. 1.6. Why is it saying 1.7? Rounding error. A 284k viewed episode on a 1 hour and 50 minute episode on a 1.66 million sub channel with a Patreon and a support page. Certainly, all of them must be view bots. It must be view bots. There's nothing else it could have been. Nope, it's view bots. It has to be. Because when you view bot something on a channel with that many people watching that much content, it must not be that you have people from multiple spheres of influence and zeitgeists watching you at the same fucking time. No. Nazis! Nazis!
You really upset the weebs this time? Yeah.
It's almost like he's gloating. But don't wait, there's more! A chatter tells Hassan to his face that he's out of touch, and he crashes out, as Hassan normally does.
And they like, because sometimes we'll stare into the darkness on this broadcast. Like, we'll look at like what they're saying, and they just can't comprehend how like journalists are still covering this guy in a positive way. What the fuck is going on? And it's like,
Hassan, you are not positive in any fucking way, shape, or form, and reading comments and then getting mad about them and one-guying yourself in your own chat room is not. People are covering this person in a positive way. Journalists are covering this person in a positive way. Very great way to spin all the coverage about you since the 5th missile hit your structure. I know it's really hard pushing off Ethan Klein and individuals like that, but it's kind of hard for you to fucking spin like this.
Dude, why do you think? You think like a 40-year-old journalist has no political convictions of their own? Like, you think they're gonna be deluded by like a drama farmer on YouTube, like a slop tuber? And
yes, because many of them are a part of the exact same political structure that has allowed people to get away with doing what they've done for the past, count them, years. At the very least, when it comes to news resources, there has been a necessary need for people to actually source through both sides of political takes that subscription models and businesses like Ground News have found a niche in the culture. What does that tell you? It tells you that everybody is at each other's throats and nobody can tell people what the fuck is happening. So they would rather hear from an influencer and watch it themselves with their own eyes because they don't trust the news media, let alone influencers.
And be like, wow, this is a real bad guy. You think they haven't seen internet harassment campaigns before?
They don't know what an internet harassment campaign looks like at scale in this time period because nobody consumes legacy media in enough quantities for it to be relevant. There are people who consume it and then create a zeitgeist around themselves. You could even take the honor to say that your reactions to it add to said zeitgeist, but realistically, your political takes are dog water. The fact that you get let on to mainstream publications is because you have not been deplatformed from them yet for your active support of terroristic campaigns. I don't have the picture on hand, but it's like the British Crown officer who died via stab wound to the back as he was trying to subdue a victim of knife crime, and then the assailant stabbed the officer.
You are so out of touch, holy hell. No, brother, I'm not the one who's out of touch. The people that are going, we hate you because we think this person is an evil person, me, okay? We think your friend that you know better, okay, is actually secretly an evil person because we've seen YouTube videos from fucking rabid haters.
Rabid haters, people who've worked with you. I'm friends with people outside of my sphere of influence. They agree with my politics, therefore everyone who disagrees with them is out of touch. Or people don't know about my politics, and every time I get exposed for my politics, Germany, not UK, same difference. Thank you, Callum. The correction's necessary. Anybody who's not aware of my politics needs to not be made aware of them. When I get exposed for going on to political podcasts and espousing these exact same talking points that I don't actually promote on my own channel, then they are out of touch. Being out of touch is not being a communist.
Is an active line of attack. The assumption that you as a random commentator, a random commenter online, is not out of touch, but I am, because what you expect in terms of like retaliation towards someone like myself is not matching the reality is hilarious.
The reality of what? Random chatter says, bro, you are so out of touch that you're not missing it. Hassan, with the Hamas bandana on. I don't see what the problem is. What's the what you chatter? But it continues.
How do you not understand that? Things will keep shocking you over and over again if you are so echo chambered and hug boxed that you genuinely believe that I am considered a fucking lolcow by anyone that is a normal human being who goes outside. Okay? That's the problem. You're like a fucking 40.
No, he's correct. It is Germany.
40-year-old dude on Twitch right now being like, you're the one who's out of touch, Hassan, because in spite of the fact that you are one of the most popular fucking content creators.
The country is not important. What was important was the idea of someone being killed because they were currently subduing somebody who was not in the position of doing something wrong. And then the assailant stabbed the police officer who was supposed to be doing their job, protecting the public, instead of terrorizing the public. Keep up.
Creators on Twitch, I still think me and my homies think you're a bad guy. And the more you don't realize that other people don't see it the way that you do, the more you just make up conspiracies in your mind. You can say womp womp all day, but the real womp is happening to you, old man. Calm down.
Assumes the chatter must be old, tries to antagonize them, says that they're out of touch, despite the fact that the broadcaster himself has to be out of touch because the chatter can't be out of touch if they're going off of what is physically happening in front of them. You have a controversy, You get exposed for supporting terrorism. You openly support the terrorism to the point that you will not back down from it. All of your talking points around yourself and your social media followers is all about protecting you from your own ego. Your ego gets put into check by random chatters all the time. You try to pull them out to one-guy them. You end up getting one-guyed instead, and try to deny being a lolcow because you claim, as you're about to, probably, that because you're a popular streamer on Twitch, that means you can't be a bad guy. No one's ever supported a bad person with bad politics and bad talking points, but with a lot of money to astroturf other people. No.
That's the problem here. People go, oh, dude, he must actually secretly have a QAnon-style level of control over both Reddit and Twitch and Twitter and every other platform and also all of news media. You know what I mean?
It's not that conspiratorial. It's literally, you have large following of people, you will go onto platforms that will blaze you, no one pushes back against you, no news media doesn't push back against you. Anytime people try to give you pushback, you try to say that the pushback is not warranted or not valid. They try to demonstrate your inability to do this. You get mad about it, you cope about it, you seethe about it, and then you try to dismiss the talking point using the Hassan method.
And at no point do you go, let me exercise a little bit of critical thinking. Perhaps me and the homies in the Discord that we're in might be a little wrong. Nope. Everyone else is. Society is.
And then you rally your troops inside your Twitter community. I don't think it's all organic trash taste fans. It's okay to correct the record. I don't think it's all organic trash takes. I got a lot of weirdos roaming in the web recently, and it's okay to correct the record in my opinion. They get away with saying a lot of totally ridiculous things. Everyone is capable of making up their mind if they simply just watch the stream. I mean, if you end up cannibalizing them the way that you tried to cannibalize H3, then this problem will eventually take itself out. Because when the virus spreads, more people are going to become aware of your fucking attitude, and they're going to become aware of your opinions. Then they're going to go looking for information about you. Did you do anything close to what Pirate Software, more on that in a second, did? No? You don't have any interest in doing that? You don't have any interest in covering that? You don't have any interest in discussing that? Oh, well, I guess you cede the ground to your biggest haters. What's that? People have done the due diligence and work to confirm your words as written in front of a live studio audience? You can't deny it. You can't push back against it. Damn. I guess we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to see you when we see you, son. So bad for you. So horrible for you. Switching gears. Let's talk about Pirate Software. This video has been a long time coming. It's nice that it was finally made, but you know, it is what it is. Those with no context. This is Pirate Software. You might remember him from the never-ending drama crash out that was his departure and his removal from OnlyFans after being sold like a rat by Yamato's death of OnlyFans. Second right hand of Tyler one of the many raid leaders as well as the, for the time, raid boss and clan leader of OnlyFans under Shoto Poppin's tutelage, as a part of their idea of bringing in the content cycle of invigorating life into hardcore World of Warcraft on WoW Classic. I have already since covered this upways, sideways, downways, crossways, and inward ways, but now we have arrived at the tell-all discussion video, meaning we're now at the status where any person repeating things that you're about to see disproven in front of you and on a wide studio audience have to let go of the hate and just accept that, you know what, it's not funny anymore. This, Hassan, is real journalism. Because this video exists as an example of what actually happens when a person is, in fact, in touch and knows what's happening. Not to say that Pirate Software is in touch with everything, but specifically on the matter of what he was dealing with, this is what you do when you have to confront people just spreading rumors frequently. and hoping that they can get away with spreading the rumors for content.
There's a whole lot of weird statements and allegations and content nukes, all this kind of stuff being levied against me, and I've refuted those things in many different locations on the internet. But I thought it'd be good to put together this video so you guys had it all in one location, because people are fighting over little pieces of information and ones that they hadn't heard and all of this kind of stuff everywhere that they can. So if I put it all in one location, it's much easier for you guys to find everything, and then you can just divert people to this instead. Much easier. And no, I'm not going to monetize this video. I just want to get this out there so you guys can actually see what the hell is going on the other side. Number 1, Maldavius Fig Tree. This is the character that everyone's talking about. You'll actually see...
This is basically one of 3 talking points that people will use against pirate software. Now, I'm going to admit, hey, you made a furry avatar? Damn, nigga, that's crazy. That's funny. But what you're about to hear about Maldavius Fig Tree is going to make you think, oh, well, how was this a problem?
See this posted all over the internet with people trying to use it as some kind of a gotcha against me. Except this character's never been a secret. I talk about it all the time on stream, and I usually refer to Second Life, which is where this character resides, as an adult version of Roblox. And this character isn't just used in Second Life either. In fact, I've used it in other games. Build a Moon is a demo that I never ended up releasing because it kind of sucks. It was fun to build, something kind of a side thing, took us maybe 2 months to do, and it was a good exercise, kind of like doing a game jam. But there's the character. I use him everywhere because it's my cool old object head character.
Pirate software. I assume you just came in just a few seconds ago, just a girl. That's okay. Content creator. Big zeitgeist. Covered him many times on the channel, discussing the OnlyFans ongoing situation. This was the first victim of social media glaze, attempting to make controversy off of him, to use him to bully him for views for their channel.
And I like that kind of a thing. With that in mind, the allegations that were brought against me were pretty goddamn heavy, but they're also not the first time they've been brought against me. The first time was in August of 2024, where I had to put out this announcement that's still up in the news channel on our Discord. I said apparently some people believe that I ripped off an underage artist 16 years ago. That artist went by Wingless Emoto at the time and is now known as Mainface on Twitter. They were 17 and I was 19 when all of this went down, and no, we never did anything sexual together. We made avatars in Second Life and our work was really popular. And by really popular, I mean we were one of like the top 3 avatar creators at the time. The 2 of us made about $5,000 to $10,000 US every month doing this. They did all the
Suspiciously wealthy furry cycle. It never ends. It never ends. It never ends.
models, and I did all the programming in LSL. This is part of me being a freelancer back in the day before my career really took off. We had a falling out over pay splits, and Wingless open sourced their work. Wingless wanted 80-20. Our agreement was 50-50. When I said no, Wingless took all of our stuff, sent it out to the entire world with full permissions. Second Life has a permission system where you can change the permissions that the next user has, and by checking all of the boxes, they had free reign to distribute, modify, and copy our work infinitely. They never got fired, they quit on their own and did this on the way out. Tabloids at the time do what tabloids do. We were kind of a big deal in the game at the time for the avatars we were selling, so they made extreme and idiotic statements and took the side of just the artist without reaching out to me. These tabloids still exist, and people are starting to dig them up now. That's it. This is 20-year-old drama. Now here's the interesting part. Maybe I made up 4 to 5 years later. We've been best friends ever since. You can actually reach out to them and confirm any of this. We've been talking about them coming on stream to stop this idiocy because this isn't the first time. This isn't even the second time. This has happened for years. People try to do it all the time to try and take me down, and the two of us always shut it down together because it's wrong. It's completely wrong. And it's using Wingless, or Mainface, as a weapon to try to bludgeon me when we're friends. And if you don't believe me, well, let's just go look at it together. Here's the post by Wingless. Mainface. I'm Wingless Emoto. I really was 17, and nothing sexual happened. If anything had happened, I would have outed him in 2008. See, there's the problem. They made this post publicly on the internet, and people didn't care. In fact, they also made this post publicly on YouTube, on the content nuke for this, and people didn't care. They tried to say that Wingless was actually a sock puppet account of mine, except Mainface's account here is from 2013. And then they tried to say, oh, well, maybe it's him anyway, and he's just been playing the long game. The goalposts keep shifting, but we keep providing evidence. From there, somebody actually did try to impersonate Mainface with a...
This is the point in the story where if this was a person actively supporting this topic and then pushing this constantly, this is where everybody said, well, that is gay, y'all gotta let it go. Because, sure, we're making fun of a person for their upcomings and the funny parts that are a part of their story. Nobody cares. Not in the giant view. But then you try to make a new story out of nothing because you want the drama to keep going because you don't have the context to know, and other people aren't informed yet either. So you're hoping that you can be able to get some type of fame off of doing something like that. That's gay. That's super fucking gay. And that's okay, just a girl. You're forgiven.
Wingless Emoto YouTube account. The only account they ever had before was Wingless Chimera, and the reason why is because Wingless Emoto is a Second Life thing. Emoto is the last name that you could choose from a list of names to put on your character, kind of like mine had Fig Tree. And at the time, there was no way to change this. Their handle was never Wingless Emoto. It was Wingless Chimera and now Mainface. And when the internet inevitably brings us up in another 3 months to 6 months, I'll just show them this video because we've refuted this time and time again. And the two of us are still friends after almost 2 decades. You're not going to kill that, and you're not going to kill me with these allegations. Now for the second one, Asmongold. I recently went on Asmongold's stream and I talked about a game called Ashes of Creation. People feel betrayed that I talked to Asmongold in the first place because they feel like his ideals will somehow seep into our community and they are inherently negative. They also feel very angry because a lot of people in the comments on things like Twitter were going and attacking them and they feel like that's somehow a core part of our community. So,
pretty much, these two people talked. We don't like this guy because didn't you see that he's a Neville baby? He's never earned his position once. He's always gotten what he's gotten because he just believes that he can be fake content creator, fake streamer, fake streamer. Hey, this streamer is completely fake streamer. He's so toxic, fake streamer.
let's get into that. This video came out from a content creator called Narc. The reason that I had the conversation with Asmongold in the first place is because of this. As you can see, it shows a desert that's kind of, well, drab and empty. Narc's video talks about how he felt betrayed by the developers, and he felt like the game was a scam, and he showcased this desert as an example of those feelings, saying the desert had not been completed and that there was nothing there. He had actually misrepresented the content here. You see, this is the very edge of the map in an area that's not finished in a very early alpha version of the game. And in the game today, still in alpha, it looks like this. And it's really, really cool looking. By misrepresenting that on Asmongold's stream, he actually set the tone to 50,000 plus people. Now, to understand how...
Which is pretty much what happened in the Only Thing situation, but you know. What's a little harassment between content creators?
How big of a deal that is, Ashes of Creation's primary Discord only has about 100,000 members. Our community is about 20,000 of those. We play this game all the time, so I'm very invested in wanting to play this. I really enjoy this game, as do many other members of our community. And the moment those calls went out saying the game is a scam, Asmongold's chat started to fill up with people echoing that sentiment, because they had no other information. Right after this, Asmongold had on Stephen Sharif, the creative director for the game, and he showed off the desert to the best of his ability and refuted the claims. The problem was, some of the people in chat were still saying, oh, that's fake, that's the developer, he's lying just to get money. So I went on, reached out to Asmongold, and said, hey, I've had 500 hours in this, come and talk to me. And he had me on. We talked about it for about an hour, and I produced this video that's about 35 minutes long as a result of that. And the whole thing is me basically talking about the game, and Asmongold saying, That's kind of the whole thing. It's like a live react video. If you've ever seen his content, you understand what I'm talking about. There's nothing...
This is comparative to his conversation with Devin Nash, where he was going back and forth with another person who understood the metrics behind content and just simply trying to discuss things. Two different types of content, three entirely different types of content creators, two entirely different types of conversations. With Asmongold, it's more stream of consciousness, and you kind of just go with the flow, more or less. Very similar to myself.
Nothing in here that's inflammatory. There's nothing in here that promotes hateful rhetoric, as people have been claiming, and this is all very mundane. So right after I put this out, a lot of people were really angry, so I had to put out a statement about it. I said a lot of people are mad that I talked to Asmongold recently about Ashes of Creation. I can see all of your comments and messages about this through YouTube and here on Twitter. In this instance...
As an Asmongold centrist, he ultimately is whatever is the most common sense position he can have. Whether he's centrist or not, apparently people care less about his position, and they care more about what his opinion is. They care deeply about preventing his opinions and not allowing his opinions to be used as a barometer. Because I'm very sure at the end of the day, Asmon is just a capitalist. Zachary's just a capitalist.
Another creator made a disparaging video about the game, and Asmon didn't have enough game knowledge to talk about it because he hasn't had the chance to play it. So this immediately makes the audience have a negative opinion of something with nobody there to say otherwise. I have over 500 hours in the game and refuted the video by the other creator. As Asmon's channel was the flashpoint for this, it makes sense to talk to him about the situation and clear the air of bullshit. We did this live on Twitch the same day it happened. In the internet of today, if you don't say something, then the room will fill up with people who do. I chose to help set the record straight on this, and I'm glad to have done so. If you want to cancel me for this, for talking to him, that's fine, but I would do this again given the chance. The developers don't deserve unwarranted hate, and I would do this again given the chance. The reason why is because as many people on the internet tried to state I was platforming him and his ideals by doing this, his community is massive compared to ours. If you have all of those people with a negative sentiment about the game and they have absolutely no other information to refute it, they're just going to go trash the game. And I don't think those developers deserve that level of hate whatsoever. And if I have an opportunity to fix that before it becomes, terrible and out of hand, then why wouldn't I take that opportunity? For those of you who think that
That is exactly the reason why he has behaved the way that he did about everything concerning OnlyFans and concerning his moving forward with other games. Every single bit of it is that right there. Why are you talking to this person with a large audience? You're trying to poison them. No, I know a lot. So I'm going to talk to the person who is responsible for the flashpoint in the situation, so that other people can see it, so that they don't just repeat something uncritically because they didn't do the work themselves, and then decided to be annoying about how they went about saying it, doing it, seeing it, discussing it, and so on.
I gained money from this or anything like that. I didn't. This was not a financially advisable thing to do. People are pissed about me taking a stance on it, but I think it's the right thing to do. If you see something that's false, say something about it. And if you don't like that I talk to him about it, that's fine. If your whole entire idea here is to try to take down Asmongold, and the only way you can think to do that is by coming after me for having a conversation about a video game, you're not going to get that accomplished, and it doesn't make any sense. From there, I had to put out another one, and I was kind of pissed about it, so I originally deleted my first post, because I basically just said, this is why I did it, I'd do it again. It's a little crass for me, so I deleted the comment. Under those circumstances, I would have absolutely had that conversation again. Prior to me being on with him, another creator was there defaming the developers and the game we talked about. As Asmongold didn't have an understanding of the game, he couldn't refute the claims. It was being bashed to 50,000 plus people, which is a death sentence for games of this size and at this early alpha stage of development. And by the way, these are the types of allegations that have been brought about it for years. And after we had that talk, they've all but disappeared. We barely ever get those types of statements in chat anymore. It's really nice now that that error has been cleared. So it had a definitive positive effect on the sentiment for the game. So to reach out to Asmon, as I have 500 hours in this is just a repetition of the same stuff. But threads like this are just filled with people that are bashing me for just having the conversation. I don't think anyone should ever be restricted from having a normal conversation about normal things. I think the idea of going after someone for guilt by association is really dangerous. You can be mad at me for things that are real, but if you're mad at me because I spoke to someone that you disagree with, this is going to get really out of hand really quickly. And I don't want that kind of environment, and our community is definitely not that kind of environment. You can and should be able to speak to anyone about anything that you want to. And if people are going to go off the deep end to attack you for that, we're more cooked than I thought.
Indeed. I'm going to skip over a few chapters here, namely because I'm not watching all of this on camera, because I do not need to. Fortunately, they have chapter sections, and I already know which chapter sections I'm trying to bring up for the round, see what I'm talking about. I encourage all of you to watch this video yourself, and to consume a little bit of some backlogs of Pirate Software's VODs and streams if you ever get the time to. Link in the chat. But ultimately, you should be capable of doing exactly and applying exactly the same things that I have told you all time and time again on my live streams and time again on my tweets or inside of my server the exact same way. However, this is where it gets funny, because now he directly addresses whether or not he is accused of being a Nepo baby by literally talking to his father. The man, the fat man right there. That is his dad. That is the creature.
It isn't for him. And now for the next one. People saying that I'm using a voice changer. Back ass hit. Now for the next one, where people are calling me a Nepo baby. For those who don't understand the term, a Nepo baby is somebody who got their job only through nepotism, never accomplished anything in their career, and never did anything to deserve the position that they have. My father was the cinematic director for Blizzard for 23 years. He worked on basically everything going all the way back to the Death and Return of Superman and many other games, all the way up until now. And then he quit, he went off to Jagex, and he worked on old school RuneScape, I believe as a creative director of some kind. With that in mind, he now streams on Twitch under the name of Earjoy. People think that I got my job at Blizzard specifically because of him. In reality, I only had help from him in order to do my resume. But you're probably not going to believe me to say that, so I'm going to let him say it.
I remember one time he had, his boss had come to me because he came to me to apologize that one of his people talked to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, Thor came up and was talking to you, and I don't think that's appropriate and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. I go, just so you know, I'm going to keep talking to Thor when he comes and talks to me because he's my son. This was 2 years after he worked for this guy, and this guy did not know.
So funny thing here, he actually got the timeline wrong. That was 4 years into my career.
Oh, that Thor was my son, and it's okay for Thor to come talk to me, you know. But it was in public. It was in the quad at work. But it's like, no, he can talk to me anytime, just like anybody else at Blizzard could come talk to me.
For those who don't understand what's going on there, my own boss didn't know who my dad was. It's really hard to be a Nepo baby when the people who control your career have no idea who your connections are. Aside from that, for the people who have this narrative, both myself and my brother applied at the same time. I got the job, and my brother didn't. Where was the nepotism for him? And now,
So, more or less, to round out the arc, this is the timeline that has been created around OnlyFans and ultimately around Pirate Software. And there are people who at this moment in time, while they're still spouting Moldovia's victory, they have lost the plot. Because, if anything, Pirate Software grew because of this. People who have no context now will be given the context, and they're going to look really silly if they keep trying to go with the hate rage angle. Making never-ending update posts about how Moldovia's victory is crashing out again. It's a bad time, basically, to be Chud Logic. Basically. But they should be fine. They've got jar content, so they're not really losing much of anything to boot. But that's the cycle there. Brit moot for my taste. But to do the due diligence of exactly what I say I do not want to fucking be a part of, I'm covering only the parts that I find are necessary and important. And ironically enough, immediately following this, because of the drama around Asmongold himself, he has actually officially left One True King as a content creator. Seed here.
Yeah, I'm not involved with OTK at all. You got kicked out of OTK, didn't you? Yeah, I'm not involved with OTK at all. Pretty much. Yeah. Nope. Done. I haven't been for a while, and so yeah, I'm chilling. So if there's something going on with them or anything else, that's up to them. It's not my thing. And I've been a very relaxed guy. Why? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. I can talk about it just for a couple of minutes. But the main reason why is that, well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, like my content and doing like controversial political content is really hard to like kind of synthesize with content that's not like that because of just how extreme it is and how polarizing it is. So it's harder to find sponsors. It's harder to do things for that reason. And so that's one big reason. And so like I don't want to like kind of grief other people because I'm going down what I think to be the best direction for like my channel, my career, my actions, right? Like this is what I want to do as a person. And so when I want to do that and I want to go down that path, then I'm going to do that and go down that path because I think that's the right option. But I also don't want to put anybody else at risk in doing that, obviously. So that's why I separated myself and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. It's because, and this is a mutual thing, right? And even if it wasn't, I still would agree with it. And so the haters won. Well, it's not necessarily haters won. It's more that a lot of people, I don't want to sign other people up for my battles.
Pretty much. It's a very sensible, straightforward take. Because the obviously cognizant part is the way that a content creator behaves and the way that an audience member behaves is going to be influenced by the potential and inherent risks to what they're doing. If the type of content that your audience asks you for is incongruent with the rules of a platform, you either have to change the way you do the content or change your platform. Simple as. In the case of One True King, you're talking about the biggest dick suckers and glazers on all of the platforms. Active control of literally whether or not you will become a platform streamer on Twitch. Now, Asmon's already there. He already has the platform. It's everybody else that's part of the organization, whether they are mid-level, low-level, literally small, literally who, or the biggest of the big. Anytime he does something, it'll directly affect the entirety of the OTK structure. Whether or not it's because OTK itself is on some fuck shit is to be seen and believed. It's specific on any of the situations that are relevant. But more or less to the point. Asmongold gets into shit, he reviews things, he talks about things, he platforms people. People get angry at him for having the conversation, they get angry at him as a part of Twitch Trust and Safety on the back end for, quote, giving breath to incels, Nazis, and chuds. They just don't want him to be talking about it and would rather him play the video game and monetize the views, but he doesn't want to. Which then moves to it being one of the, quote, biggest mistakes of his life.
This is going to be kind of a big thing, right? But I view getting involved with all of that stuff as being one of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made in my entire life. I do. And I don't regret doing it because I think I needed to have done it in order to know that it was a mistake. But I had everything good. Everything was fine. I was happy. My channel was doing great. And I didn't understand the amount of social pressure and social obligations that it would put on me. And that amount of social pressure and social obligations that it put on me were massively emotionally devastating is that's too extreme of a word, right? That's like you're explaining a bomb. But like they were corrosive to me and they really, really negatively affected my mental. And I ended up going through with things and doing things and streaming in cases where I really kind of didn't really want to, where I needed to step away. And it basically overcommitted me to a lot of social events and social activities that I'm not comfortable doing. And I didn't really understand that it was that bad for me until I was in it and I was doing it. And I was like, okay, well, fuck, like I'm stuck doing this thing. And like, I did it for a very, very long time because I felt like I had an obligation to the people that put their trust in me. And I did that for as long as I possibly could.
And that's pretty much what every content
This is going to be kind of a big thing, right?
That's pretty much what every content creator knows and feels at the core of your of your heart. And it is important to put that in mind as a part of why he would make such a decision, because it's the same reason why any influencer will change up who they do content with, or they will change the type of content that they do, or they will change the way that they do the content. They'll remove certain aspects and retool certain parts of the programming or the techniques of it to be able to allow for content to flourish without the necessary element that is causing the friction and the lack of creativity or the restriction, so that you can be able to be authentic to yourself, do the things that you want to do the things that you want to do for an entertaining audience that wants to watch, be capable of providing it for those people, be entertaining while doing so, and still being able to keep people engaged with the work and focused on whatever it is that you happen to choose to bring up to people's attention. Because as far as Aspen Gold goes, he's probably one of the better individuals to demonstrate what it looks like when people are all on the same page and they're actually moving in the same direction and giving each other the breath of life to be able to seek to do that. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. If it rolls across his desk and it rolls across his community Discord and he has an opinion, he's going to have his opinion and he's going to say his piece. And whether or not you can control that has less to do with how valuable the opinion is and more to do with the fact that it's an opinion that exists, it's there, you can use it, you can view it, you can ignore it, but you can't stop it from being done. The same way that CryogJet Software just described for his own work, which is exactly the same thing that he did. I've done it, your favorite streamers have done it, your favorite broadcasters have done it. It's not a betrayal of people, because realistically at the end of the day, you're talking about something that you might have probably done with friends or something along that type. It's something that requires engagement. And ultimately, when a structure, and when a multi-channel network, when a community starts controlling your ability to be creative because they refuse to accept a certain type of thing, to, as our homegirl, Kim Belair would say, act like picky babies, you have to decide what's more important, your paycheck or the content. Because if you're not enjoying the content that you're making, and you hate every part of the cycle of how it is proliferated, then it is your viewed and varied interest to immediately take control of that view cycle and just simply not allow that to happen anymore in the future. Because it's on us as the content creator to provide it. I gotta provide the vision and the space, the people watching and consuming and then discussing and disseminating actually control the platform. Or at least the space of the platform and how far your actual engagement and reach goes. So, this then leads to him saying why this is part of his desire. Let's listen.
Also, it puts me in positions where there are certain instances of things that I can't really do. Like, for example, like if I'm going to the White House or I'm doing anything that's like very politically focused or anything else like that, it entangles the different companies that I would be involved with in those issues, right? And it might not really make sense that that's the case, but it is the case. And I'll talk about this for like probably 5 minutes because I know that a lot of people have asked about it, and I'll just kind of like get into it and explain it. And so that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons why I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I want to go and do my own thing and focus on my own thing. And I know that a lot of people have tried to create the narrative that my friends are like betraying me and they're pushing me away. This is absolutely not true. I've read comments like this. This might sound weird, but, and I would ask you, like, if you don't believe this, I would ask any other streamer, find me one streamer that's had a negative interaction with me, right? I mean, even if somebody's gonna say Poke, right? I was talking to Poke in DMs, right? And we're like, I'll probably talk to him like a little bit more because like there's a lot of like there's been like 4 or 5 years of like context behind that, and so like I'm trying to work things out and at least make sure that he and I are on the same page with things, right? And so like Yamato, well, I don't even really hate Yamato. I just think he acted like a bitch, right? Like I mean, I don't even hate the guy. So it's not like if I saw him, I'd be like, oh, I fucking hate you. It's on site. No, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever, right?
Because at the end of the day, we're all multi-millionaire content creators, and just because I don't vibe with you on one thing doesn't mean I can't vibe with you on the next. Pretty simple, get the bag mentality. Can't hate him for it. Love that for him. Which then leads, and of course, people making a zeitgeist about this shit now. because every single bit of influencer news is the Jersey Shore. Which then leads into XQC's opinion about Asmongold's decisions.
And so the haters won. Well, it's not necessarily haters won. It's more that a lot of people, I don't want to.
Whoa. Not just the haters won though. I mean, brother, even internally they pressured him. I'm not, guys. I know he probably can't say a lot of things. I mean, I'm not a hater of Will Neff, but he made it very clear that his stance was, this guy stops doing the polarizing shit, right? This guy stops the opinions that don't correlate with the opinion, or I'm out, right? He said that on stream. I'm not, and I'm sure other persons internally at OTK feel the same way. And on top of that, they're also compounding the fact that, yo, dude, when you do these things, people lose jobs, and people were pressuring Asmon a lot with this. So at that point, it's like just continuing to exist around the OTK brand, I mean, is being kind of held against him. So yeah, of course it's not. That's what the haters are. It's also internally.
Sign other people up for my battles.
Mm-hmm. Then he has his opinion on whether or not he became X-pilled.
Bro, I'm not lying. I'm not trying to be things about me. I actually getting XQC pilled low key. Chat. This has been my shit since the beginning. Not associate with anybody. Nothing can be held against me. Everything that I do only affect me and fuck everybody else. It's just what it is. You have no ties. That's the place you want to be at.
And then XQC's joke saying that he's the one truly will ha 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 ha. But more importantly, Emiru claiming she's still a member of OTK after Asmongold's departure. I legit didn't even know anything happened today. I thought people in chat were asking about it were retards. I don't know where else to post this because no one gives a shit, but I'm not leaving OTK. I'm out. Good night. I don't know how anybody could think that. Which, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Because, basically, as this happened, removes all branding from all socials the very afternoon Asmongold announces that he officially cut all business ties. Oh no, why are people saying that I'm leaving? How could they possibly think that? And removing OTK and OTK-related companies from the Twitter bio at the same time Asmongold talks about distancing himself from OTK. Why do you guys think that I'm leaving OTK? It is the biggest glaze to believe that there are not influencers that are social and whose careers more or less are being orbiters and being waiting rooms to talk about, shit on, or antagonize other content creators that are known for having bigger platforms to hope that you enter into the shitpost cycle, whether it be on YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, Twitch, or any other discussion platform, which usually means other people's discords, for you to then circulate into the talking zeitgeist. It is crazy to believe that a person would not do that. Again, Jersey Shore for influencers. It's probably less important for her, but considering how many times she's gotten into the news cycle, and others have gotten into the news cycle, discussing Asmongold and how relevant Asmongold has been as of late, because of them frequently choosing to just put him in the middle of shit and treat him as they did. Great, big ups to him. Love to see him do more. Hope it continues in the future. And just a little bit of coverage. For those that did not watch broadcast when I was discussing and looking over the Destiny reaction when I was doing Legacy of Phoenicia, I will do a simple cover of it here. And this simple cover is pretty much just Destiny's reaction since then. Hello. Which has just been probably the most pathetic thing you could ever fucking see. I will dramatic read this for you. All of these people are fucking disgusting. I hate them all. Cynically, I don't even have any other evidence of anything, just because literally every fucking person cut me off after Pixie's bullshit Substack statement. Everything I've pieced together I had to do basically on my own, with the exception of Kyla and Dan, who still talk to me. Destiny, are we on the indefinite no friends ever on stream arc? Some dude, but there are like 3 good ones. But most streamers are just fucking horrible people. LOLW. And this, of course, was posted with this song by ya boy, Nicholas Diorio.
Hey man, it's Freak Pop. Thanks for answering. people usually don't answer. And it's taking a toll on me. That's why. Hey, man.
It's so great to see him suffering. So great to see him suffering. It's so good. I love it. I could eat it up with candy every day of the week. And it's not just regular Destiny disgust. It's just people simply not understanding what the fuck is happening here. Just like Korra hates back on the timeline, it is a detrimental good that people hold him to account, yes. But they allow it to be a long crash out that demonstrates, no, you will not have friends that will stand beside you as you sexually embarrass and harass all of your female friends and interactions. No, you cannot harass and bully your now ex-wife and effectively tell her, oh, you're gonna torch me, I'm gonna torch you. Mutually assured destruction. Let's go. MAD. No, you cannot build a platform off of being the guy that talks to people and says that I debate people, and then end up crashing out live on camera multiple times on end because people are now viewing your streams as boring because they don't want to watch non-stop research posts. Who could have thought it? There's more than enough of an argument. You could say that even right now, Destiny stakes are astroturfed. In the sense that people are keeping him alive by putting him on the copium fuel to hope that they could just get a little bit more Tarkin out of him before they throw him away. Because we've had plenty enough people enter into the lolcow cycle. And, you know, that's okay. That's fine. More content for me! So sad to see him down. But I'm not sad. I'm actually very happy. Hello, Aqua. And in terms of all the shit that I have to inform you about that I covered on other streams this week, that is pretty much all of the news that I think I have on the side here for you. Outside of a couple of other news stories that I'm letting develop before I report them. Which then leads me to later on today, as well as Monday and Tuesday of next week, I'm going to be putting out my reviews for Avowed, a review for Lacrosse Shooter's Insight, and starting the preliminary process of setting up to write a review about Monster Hunter Wilds on launch week. My expectations, my reactions, and therefore. So, for those that are looking forward to that, you can expect that to drop sometime between now and Wednesday at the latest. And for Monster Hunter Wilds, we cannot begin until the game is fully out. But for the review process, I think any and all of my footage that I use for the first week and a half is going to go into the review. So, hopefully funny shit happens. Should you want to play Monster Hunter Wilds, you're going to have to approach Horror to ask for a link to the Monster Hunter Wilds only server where we're all congregating, where we're going to be playing together and talking together. And as for Avowed, I actually had to talk myself into doing a review last night. I won't spoil the energy I'm going to bring to it, but I'm not happy with Avowed. I'm super not fucking happy with Avowed. What can I say about this game that would not turn me into a sputtering pile of spit? The combat, mid. The gameplay, mid. The story, dialogues, and conversations with NPCs, dog water. The NPCs have no patrol cycle. They don't live and breathe in the world that they are designed in. They act like mannequins. And it's trash. The worldview, trash. The political aspirations and the writing, trash. Pronouns don't even come up as a part of the conversation, since you can always toggle them. There are so many bugs. There are so many bugs. The bug in question that provoked me to want to make a review for that on top of the other 2 games I'm going to already be making one for. One is for Dare Drop sponsor, the other one is simply for the love of the game. This one is simply for the hate in my heart. I hate CRPGs. You know, you did not miss the Korra hate. The Korra hate is still going on in the timeline. It was the first thing that I opened on about. That'll happen later down the lines. There's too much content that's happening later down the lines. We'll worry about that in real time as that comes through. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. There will probably be a news segment on Monday dedicated to the fucking Korra hate. Cause I'm stretching. I'm just getting started. But anyways, the amount of fucking bugs that exist inside of Avowed is so dog shit. And for me, my problem with it goes all the way back to Mr. fucking Christensen opening his mouth and running his mouth on fucking on the fucking platform, saying I love that people like this are gonna be trying to play my game because I designed my game so that I can hate people like this. The amount of bugs that occur and the level of the quality of the fucking gameplay is so annoying. It's so bad. It is so bad. Because despite how much you could try to do to alleviate it, the way that the game is designed, the first zone that you enter is equivalent to Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. So, just to give you a sample of what that opinion in that review will be, Avowed, despite not having been sold as it, is a Skyrim clone. However, the way in which the game motivates you to play it, to scale for it, and to design your character for it, designs it like Fallout, specifically Fallout 3. This game is so fucking cancer because it is so fucking poorly designed. The most interesting thing about this game is the mounting, the parkour, and the pivot system for climbing. Mounting, climbing, sidling, and parkour should not be the most interesting parts of this game. Because I had more fun going throughout the wilderness and finding secrets. For example, the God Fragment statue for Woduka. All 6 pieces can be found and have even a hint and a riddle inside of one of the shops in the area. And I had more fun exploring the accessible game world and learning the game mechanics than I did anything to do with the story, anything to do with the characters, and anything to do with all of it as a whole. And the parts in which I have the greatest problems with are probably the most game-breaking, bugged-out parts. So, for example, this game wants you to have a system where you can do things like lie to the enemy, immediately aggress the enemy, attack the enemy, and what have you. But for one of the quests, a forced quest, a mainline quest, it's broken. You cannot spare the character in question. I'm leaving the name out of it so that you are not spoiled if you have not played the game and intend to at some point. But if you aren't, I'll try to play it more on camera, if anything. But as I have completed the Dare Drop campaign, I play it now off camera, since I don't have all the time to be playing all these games on camera all the time, unless somebody specifically requests it. Because I'm technically a statue. I've only deglazed and defrosted now in which to have this live stream, but it is so cancerous. Not just the combat, but the combat system. Talked about it a bit before when Jade asked me about it, but I will explain in deeper context here, now that I fully understand how it works. There are quest zones And those quest zones dictate loot of enemies and loot drops of enemies. If the enemy has a loot type that says they are of fine quality, your weapons do reduce damage to them unless you are on the equal level of quality. On the highest difficulty, which is what my save file is playing off of, this means if you're not doing hundreds of thousands of damage between multiple packs of enemies, and you're upgrading your materials and your tool costs as you play through. So, for your chosen play type, because there are multiple base weapons, and there are multiple uniques. Some, they give you as a part of the premium edition of the game. But for the majority of the time, all of the equipment that you could find in the wilds, that you could purchase from a vendor, that you get as a result of you interacting with something, like ancient memory fragments, which then reward small buffs, and then provide some of your first starter weapons and starter equipment. Assuming that you're not cheating and you're not listening to a find best starter build guide off of some place like YouTube or TikTok. Your ability to fight your enemy is going to be gated around whether or not you cheese combat. Period. Sometimes just good common sense. Use your companion skills, use the combat skills that you've chosen to your best ability, play towards what your style allows you to, mix and match, do it as you want. If you want to play like a pirate and make use of the range skill that allows you to lock with the power attack and thus cause a slow down bullet effect so that you can better aim at people's heads in the middle of combat. That skill exists and you can use it to your advantage. Give yourself a form of bullet time. Back it up with a weapon that, while it can't parry, you can be able to control distance and you can support yourself while at the same time switching off weapons to something that can block. You want to do what I had started out doing for the purpose of our dare drop challenges and play a melee monk? You can put on a shield and you can punch a motherfucker in the face. Make your fist equal to fine equipment quality compared to everything else. Learn to parry, learn to block, counter punch, punch, and have fun. You want to use what I'm currently doing on one hand file. Use a pistol in one hand and then hold a grimoire in the other so that in between charge shots and reloads you can then cast a spell either for offense and defense. You can do that. And you can have multiple grimoires on yourself so that you have the right grimoire book for the situation. You want to have multi-chaining skills. You want to have effects that you can then use to affect the environment, which is a big secret that they did not actually explain as a part of the details of work. You actually have to go a little bit further on this quest to actually learn how they function enough to learn how to take advantage of things like ice spells, freeze water. It's probably some of the most basic mechanics that you should have had in part of the tutorial, and they didn't. All of the basic, you should learn this by playing type mechanics go unexplained, they go ignored, they are not central to shaping the game loop that you play for. Gold is limited. So, trying out all the weapons, just on the baseline of what they work for, is one thing. But in order to make the swaps, you need to be able to respend your points. The more skill points you have, the more effect, and the more and higher the cost becomes. I'd say the break point started at somewhere between 6 to 9, because now I need to have like 250 or 500 gold to respec. At the beginning it was just like 100, both between the stats and the skills. You have to pay for each separately. Don't get a full restat. That's a lot of waste of gold, in my opinion. But assuming that you know how you want to build your character, this is where it becomes more like the special system Fallout. Stats are stats, skills are skills. But, in terms of the skills, how you equip your character is what affects its ability to be built on the timeline. So, you want to use the... what's the word I was looking for? You want to use the pirate loadout and have a one-handed weapon alongside a pistol. and you want to make the pistol in the Ranger tree work for you, and then make single one-handed weapons work better for you, you need to stat into it. You want to use two-handed weapons and also parry using those two-handed weapons on block, you have to first buy the parry skill, which is retarded. Why is parrying something that you have to acquire and equip and is not a baseline effect of the game? That's fucking retarded. But then also, if you found a new special set of two-handed weapons, or a two-handed weapon that you want to have as an off-swap for playstyle, and you want it to be effective, you have to set in for it. Because the amount of damage that you're going to need to do, at least in the higher difficulties, assuming that you want to play on the highest difficulty, this might not be relevant for the lower ones, but I'm speaking on my own experience. The amount of damage that you need to be able to do to actually control the situation, that is the actual combat experience. An enemy all the way on this side of the map runs to you. You're over here, he's over here. Meanwhile, every other enemy, assuming that they're getting attacked by the same equal people, they are just basically ignoring your companions, assuming that you're not fighting encounters by yourself alone before you've acquired certain companions, and they're just shitting down your throat. Non-stop. They are coming from miles and miles away. And I do mean miles and miles away. When I entered into a part of the district of the Paradise town, because I encountered and started fighting certain members of the gang boss ran from all the faraway point that he was at to fight me in combat. I was fighting an encounter for 10 minutes straight. And the only reason why I survived said encounter is because I had magic that could leech health off of him, and a skill which improved the stun effect of my weapons to be better able to set up for the power attack stun bar, so that I could then fight him, crit him, put him on his back, and then get free healing off of him. A fun and fair cycle, mind you. But it was so repetitive, and it was so tactile, that it wasn't the chaos that you would want to expect from something of this type. Not to mention, for that quest, one of the main quests you have to do as a part of your ability to actually progress the game, you're not allowed to take certain outcomes right now. And it's not just you lose out on a quest reward, the entire quest breaks. It breaks. If you spare a person that is important to the storyline, the game will not recognize your choice, and they will randomly start attacking you. And then the enemy is invincible, because the game quest flags them as not being killable, because you had spared them. It does a hard save. It doesn't wipe all your other saves, but it does a hard auto-load save after this cutscene. And unless you reload your save, and you kill him, it breaks. It was not like this on the early advanced copy. The fucking early access version of the video game was less broken than the game on release! Ba-da-ba-dum. If the stream dropped, it was because the internet dropped randomly, and it still looks like it's dropping in recovery. Give me an eye on that. Yeah, we're back alive. Should back up here too. So just in case nobody caught what I was saying, because of all of those things and more, the bad gameplay loops, the lackluster quality, the never-ending bugs, the game-breaking bugs, the loot disappearing in Houdini bugs, combat that has no respawnable enemies in the area, overwhelming research costs for experimenting with your builds, and other shit like that, I cannot hold in my hatred. I have to talk about it. This shirt is too small for my big belly. Probably have to wear one on the shirt. But because of my seething hatred, I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it. So I'm going to be dropping a review and putting all of my vitriolic hatred in there. And I'm saving it for the recording session. If I don't do it today, I'm going to start recording it tomorrow. I'm probably going to do all 3 of them in one sitting. Or rather, finish working on the Macross Insight review, because I need to turn in that dare drop. And for Avowed and for Monster Hunter Wilds, I'll be dropping those somewhat back to back to back. So 3 reviews, all getting covered and recorded and finished within the next 4-ish days. It's going to be a time to be alive. I'm starting to do more of those, by the way. More video game reviews of things that I consume on stream. Simply to add to the video form output. You know, vary some things up. Don't just have most of the things that are being put out as content either being my direct opinion about some type of drama that I'll cover on camera, or a stream VOD cut, putting out more of those things so that I can bring more content to your attention. Also going to probably do the same thing when I do appearances on other people's channels, because it feels like sometimes either I pick the worst time slots or everybody is just absorbed in work or at work, or then when they get home they are tired. So just straightlining the exact same thing I've done before with the VODs for Carl at home. Just going to start editing them myself and then putting them up there so people can find them and shit like that. Segments that are on streams that I feel like should be covered, shit like that. I apologize for not like making more videos of that style before, like when I was covering the censor bar meta of Twitch and shit like that. There just hasn't been good news. There just hasn't been good news that I've been motivated to cover outside of a live stream, because like the news is throwaway. It's very, very throwaway. The games are shit. The news is shit. The influencers to talk about our shit. Very few things are happening. Very few things are happening. In any case, it appears nobody has a call-in. Unless someone presents a call-in. I have one person having me call in. Hi, Saf. You're on Korra. How can I help you?
Hello, Carl. How have you been?
I'm alive.
Okay. I did not know about the Korra coming back allegedly, and I've been hearing rumors about it ruining the lore apparently, and I was just like,
It's stuff that had already been discussed, but we're getting more details about Avatar 3, and the more that they tell us about the world building, they are explaining that the events of Korra opening spirit portals has led to the world being ruined because of her actions. Because already you had a lot of other examples of Korra just being the worst. For example, Korra's actions of not listening and understanding how she was directly responsible for causing the light and dark spirits to behave as they did, actually were now responsible for the destruction of the Avatar line. So there are no Avatars anymore, there's only Korra. The only Avatar that can be relied upon for past lives moving forward is only ever Korra. All the other old past lives are dead and gone. Their effect on the world is not dead, but there is no spirits inside of her. It is just her and Rava, and that's it. Because of that, the twins that are being born in the series, one of them is going to be light, one of them is going to be dark. It's going to be a series about yin and yang. The world state is pretty much because of the opening of the spirit portals, trying to give people opportunities to be involved. You got meme jokes like what happens ever since Korra saved the world with the spirit portals. People like Ko, the face stealer, basically walking up and pranking the fuck out of people in the streets. Because obviously characters and spirits like Ko, the face stealer, if you act a certain way around them or you disrespect them, they can kill you and steal your face. So it's like, damn, can't have shit in Detroit. Now I'm getting harassed by Ko, the face stealer on my way to my shift to McDonald's. Type shit. Ruining the lore is one thing. It's that people are now allowed to hate Korra. For the longest time, the problem with Korra was, no, you can't hate her, she's transgender, she's queer. We allow for better talking opportunities. Don't you understand she's a black woman, being voiced by a white woman? They would not stop.
Wait, hold on.
Janet
People
Varney.
thought Korra was a black woman?
Yes, because she has tan skin, despite the fact that she's supposed to be Inuit coded, and that her voice actress is white, because it's voice acting, not voice colorism. You're getting distracted.
Yeah, it's just that I didn't know that was a thing that people were saying. I guess I must have missed
Retarded
it, so
people.
I
Retarded
apologize.
people. It's okay. Retarded people say it.
Okay.
It's the reason why Poe and I and us on the Digital Blackface podcast originally started the White Member Troll, because they would glaze characters as being good when they are obviously not, because they confuse a character having feats with a character being a good person. This person is godlike level strength, power scaling. How can anybody hate Korra? And you just break out the encyclopedia. Did you miss anything? You missed everything, Lord. Just did break out the encyclopedia, and we will just go through the list of her feats, thinking that covering the feats that she has on her show makes her a good example of a character, or makes any of her characters a good example of the character. The children of the main cast are more relevant as Avatar characters compared to the younger generation that a lot of the drama centers around. It served to be more like a shipping show than it did to actually continue on the legacy that Aang set up in this world building that they wanted. Because they wanted to not tell a story about Avatar, they wanted to tell a story about the Avatar basically sucking and fucking their way through their fucking life expectancy, and how that was supposed to build up some way to being relevant. It's like the more dog shit version of what you could have done with something like Steven Universe or Adventure Time. They focused more on shit.
It feels like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it feels like a lot of those shows during that era put so much focus on the shipping, and it kind of like, it made me lose interest in a lot of entertainment during that time. Like when there was more focus on that, and then like the aftermath of it ended up kind of like, I don't know, kind of taking the reputation of the show. Because I remember like hearing about how Korra ended, and I'm just being like, ugh, like, is it really worth all this?
Ultimately, no.
Is it really worth having a lesbian kiss at the end?
To stamp their flag in it and say we won, yeah. Because they cared less about how the legacy of the show will be remembered, and more about planting their flag and owning the chuds politically. And what do we have to show for it? The world building of the next series is fucked. The basis upon which you have to cook is fucked. You can't ignore it, because then it's not truly a project made by Team Avatar in the world of Avatar. It would be like making an alternate timeline. Nothing matters. We don't recognize what happened in Korra. Now come back and have new adventures. No, everything has to follow through. It's all an entire story about past decisions and actions affecting people living now, and the cycles that put people through. If you ignore that cycle, if you ignore that world building, then you are inherently not making a show about Avatar. And inherently whatever you make about Avatar is going to be dog piss. Because without recognizing the roots of how other characters' choices affected the future of the current characters, then you don't have the story building and the world building to make better the plot that you're going to have. Truthfully, she is in fact the Avatar, and we have to deal with the consequences of what she's done to us. Because the show is going to be permanently marred and scarred by that whole cycle of involvement. Because, like, the dueling ships and ship canon and fandom shipping, that's all great, but at the end of the day, Aang did not go on a mission to slang Coochie.
He didn't. I don't think I don't remember if he got married or not.
No, the way that Avatar ends is that it ends on him kissing Katara after he's done his job and his due diligence. He handles Ozai, he sets peace in the world, and he builds a life for himself. And from what we learned with relevance towards Korra, he has his children, and he tries to set about saving the culture of the air nomads by passing it through his children. And of course, whatever happens with Jinora being considered the carry-on of the culture, let alone that whole randomly air nomads, recentering the balance. The chakras have been opened. We just have a bunch of air nomads out of nowhere. This whole decision they had done in the later seasons concerning people like Kuvira, and I'm forgetting the name of the air guy, Zahir. The way that they chose to write those characters, and the way that they spread around the lore, it is not worth. The entire franchise of Korra is not worth watching. You would be better served watching E:'R's recaps of the seasons than watching it yourself. Abridge your take-in of this diatribe of shit you have to stick in your veins.
I think I did watch his... I watched his video and his video on Steven Universe. And, like... I mean, Steven Universe is a whole other can of worms, because I remember watching the pilot and I'm thinking, like, oh, I think this show's going to be okay. And then, like, the longer the show went on, it's like, okay, there's obviously something wrong, because the production of this shouldn't be this bad for a Cartoon Network show.
It's disappointing, to say the least. But
yeah.
The one thing that you can say that Steven Universe had going for it is that Steven Universe eventually, its designer and its creator, noticed that they were doing to her show what they did to Adventure Time, and stopped it dead in its tracks to get it back on a righted ship. Whether or not you believe that she wrote it the way that she wrote it the entire time and carried it through the entire way she wanted to the entire time remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, it's very funny that Rebecca, a Jew, decided to make space Nazis and said, guys, look, they said they were sorry. We have to forgive them. And people ate it. And then now, human element Jesus makes all the wrong decisions, and people's cope is, well, it's not her fault. She's doing the best she can. Which is probably the biggest reason why we have Korra hate to begin with. The problem is that she in fact did not do the best that she could. She didn't listen to her friends. She didn't listen to her advice. She was very stubborn, very pig-headed, and she was rewarded for being stubborn and pig-headed and closed-minded. If the narrative through line of Korra is to be written, as was Aang's, as a mirror of what they had to do, there's a series called The Santa Clauses. The way that they describe one of the plots of that show actually perfectly describes the reason why we have Korra hate. Every single avatar, just like in the Santa Clauses, every Santa, in the Kringleverse, were designed, not my words, I'm repeating what the show put through. Every Santa, just like every avatar, in their timelines and in their history, were to struggle against problems for their time. And the cycle of problems preceded and then was succeeded by an avatar that had to deal with the consequences of what the last one didn't deal with. So for Kuruk, he's having to hunt spirits because, I believe before him it was Kyoshi. Kyoshi was too busy being a fierce power bottom, getting dominated by her woman. And much like how, I'm forgetting the name of the one that came before Aang, much like how the avatar before Aang basically allowed treachery to happen around him, despite being a friend of the Fire Lord. Opportunism, Roku, thank you. Avatar Roku being betrayed by his friend, despite them being Fire Nation, left Aang in a position of the world where he has to learn 3 elements that he is unfamiliar with in his time, and thus create peace in his time to prevent Ozai from trying to dominate and conquer the world. And whereas he had to deal with personal connections, because he was already spiritually connected and spiritually open, the entire problem of Korra, just from season fucking 1, where the bullshit started with the goddamn shipping wars with them, and pivoting too much in personal drama of will they, won't they, versus the actual building ontological narrative, the entire point of Korra's character, because this is the reason they introduced the concept of Avatar 1, was that Korra needed to become spiritual. She was very rooted in the world. She was all about the physical material plane, but she spent no time meditating, no time assessing her inner being and her inner qualities. And that's why she was struggling to learn airbending. She had a problem of letting go of her tensions. She had a problem with being at one and with peace of herself. And the literal first step, the literal thing that they did as the worst wraparound for the involvement of the Equalists and Amon was, oh, she had her chakra points sealed up for all her other bending. So that meant that in desperation she accessed airbending, and then her chakra points were then unlocked by Avatar Aang, because Aang's past spirit showed that she was supposedly worthy now. No, the fuck she wasn't. She should have died. Her incompetence, her inability to trust the people who are sensible and reasonable, being pig-headed and stubborn, and making bad decisions, which you could say, well, she's learning. She's a new Avatar. You can't expect her to get out the gate. Okay, but by the time she's getting poisoned with mercury in her blood by season fucking 3, with them attempting to do whatever they can to weaken her so they can kill the Avatar permanently, that wasn't her being unaware and being uninformed and being ill-informed. That wasn't her being at her peak of power and her peak of intelligence. This is directly the consequence, Asami, that's the girl's name. It was directly the consequence of her caring more about who's licking Asami's slatch than her worrying about who's going to kill the world. Every single decision, around how they wrote that character is why she gets fucking hate. Period. The entire lesson about having a rich inner spiritual life, as well as being in the world, but also of the world, and within and without the world. Gone. Dead. In the soul. Because what's the point of opening up the spirit portals so people can basically vacation in the spirit world if the only reason the portal was open was so that you could then have a shot of her and Asami walking into the goddamn portals to go have a lesbian fest in the other timeline or in the other plane? And that's what you leave off on. And the only extensions that you get are the fucking comic books. Now, I don't believe choosing to continue the lore of the series in things like the Turf War comics, which is where they then reestablish that, no, it's not a phase. No, she's really a lesbian. I don't think that's the thing you should have done with it. See, when Buffy did this, to continue their the well critically acclaimed wrong-leaning series in comic format, just as an extension of what would have been put on camera, had they been able to record it, it's fine. Don't care. It's great. Love that for them. But with Korra, they relied too much on people's death of the author interpretations than actually just spelling it out. They didn't want to spell it out on camera. They didn't spell it out in the animation. They didn't write it in the goddamn book because they were going off of vibes. And this is what vibes gets you. It gets you trolled on Twitter and Twitch. It gets you trolled on TikTok. Is that people making skits about how dumb your world building is. So yeah. Gonna be looking into more of it. Gonna be shitting on more of it in the future. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Anything else you want to bring to my attention?
There's also like I don't know when that is it gonna be released next month at DMC Anime.
I think. I'm not keeping track of it. When it releases, I'll be made aware of it by being reminded, or I will wait until the tourist attraction dies down, and then I will cover it.
God. And the fact that there was an instance that on Twitter that happened where somebody, a mutual, was talking about him, and Addy showed up in his comments trying to be sarcastic, saying like, yeah, we should kill that guy.
That's cringe. That's lame. You have way too many things to be working on, Eddie Shankar, for you to be wasting your time on Twitter. Same shit I could say about Matt Christensen of Avowed. You cannot turn in a dog shit product and then act smug about it. You need to actually have pride in your fucking work.
I mean, from what I remember he said in his tweets, it was going to be a one-season affair.
Okay.
Which is like...
Okay.
It's like, okay, alright.
A one-season affair of dog shit. That doesn't remove the... It's not going to stop the criticism. I'm still going to call it dog shit. That's clearly not fucking Dante. It clearly isn't Dante. Because that's not Dante's necklace. That's not even necessarily Dante's voice actor. But we'll forgive Johnny Young Bosch. A job is a job. A job is a job. If Ruben wanted the job, he could have taken it. A job is a job.
They're going to push Ruben out entirely because of his like conspiracy theory views.
Okay.
And the guy himself is like harmless, from what I understand.
From what I know, from what was reported and what he's spoken on himself, he literally just took a break. That's it.
Okay.
That's all he did. Whether or not people then say, yeah, we're going to push him out, retarded, get better things to do with your life. Embarrassing. I'm more concerned with the fact that he made a product and he chose to give a product that is embarrassing compared to the lore that he's trying to pull on. He could have done a better job. This is not the best you could have designed Mary/Lady. This is not the best that you could have designed Dante, even if you're going for a young Dante or an alternate timeline Dante. This is not the best work you could have done with the way you presented it in trailer format. This is not the best way that you could have communicated as the creator of these franchises, because really, this is going to be on the showrunner to make better. Him being the guy that's premiering it and made the series and bankrolled it, he's taking the exact same thing he did from Castlevania and Castlevania Nocturne, and I guess whatever he tries to do, saying he wants to do something with Devilman. And he's done before, which is he's taking credit for shit that he's not directly working on. Lord knows how they cover Virgil. But no, he's taking credit for something that hasn't even come out yet. Okay. It's probably still going to be dog shit. My point still remains the same.
I mean, I'm aware it's like, it's probably going to be mega poo-poo diarrhea. And like, the thing that bothers me is that like, there's people who can't really see the forest from the trees of what he's doing. Like, it's very like manipulative what he's doing, because like with Castlevania, I feel like he doesn't want people to actually look at the games, because people who have actually played the games figured out, yeah, this is fucking awful, like dog shit. And like, I discussed this with other people in a server, and I said, yeah, I've played both of the games that are supposed to take place during Nocturne, and like everything about it is just like insulting to me.
The irony of that is that there are multiple references in the shows, plural, in the shows that directly reference things like the golden ending requirements. And just for Mr. Item Crash Out and Grandpa Crash Out themselves, active references to skills, abilities, tools, items, situations, scenarios, and equipment that is directly referenced as a part of the world building that they did. that the way that they chose to navigate that on camera makes the games, by comparison, 5 billion times better. Because of the way that they chose to be soy about how they chose to make it, write it, and design it. And
yeah, like, I really don't want him to touch Soma Cruz at all.
And based on how Adi Shankar has just been taking in credit for something that he has not designed himself and is not leading himself, but instead going behind his showrunners and taking credit for what is their planning and their scripting, I do not want to hear a single word out of Adi Shankar when it comes to the promotional work of his products. Because right now, his only job is to be a custodian of the brand, and he is doing a piss poor job at that job. Is there anything else you want to tell me about?
Can I actually talk about some mini updates about Love in Deep Space? Is that okay?
Sure.
I did post the other video, right? And like, I can kind of describe it if you haven't watched it. This Hobikage, after that whole video of her ranting about like the incels that haven't talked to their mom, in that Catch-22 trailer, she's like obviously thirsting over the characters being shown on screen. She's referencing AO3. She's like licking her lips, like look at the characters, and I'm like, yeah, like everything you said is kind of very disingenuous.
This is the video that you posted on the 13th at 11:54 p.m.
It was the two videos after the Gooner one. It was the one that she reacts to the trailer, and the other one where she's like pulling for the character.
Love in Deep Space, Xavier, tomorrow's Catch-22 reaction and polls.
Not that one, it was the one before that.
Can you hand me the video that you're talking about?
Okay. Hold on. Let me look through it. Where do I send it?
To your thread.
No, I did post it. I posted the video already.
In the thread?
Yes, it's in the thread, but...
So it's not the last video that's in the thread?
No, it was the one... It was the... When I was talking about the videos initially...
Cages,
when I was talking about...
Cages and Chains?
Yes, that one. That's her reacting to the trailer. And she made that after her coat video.
Hello, Grace.
Hello, Grace.
Alright, chat, let's take a look. Before we do. Horror and Hellfire, I disagree. I think the original Castlevania show is good. Nocturne is ass. I agree. The original Castlevania show, as written by Warren Ellis, is great. Yeah. He was capable of doing something that the rest of them didn't do.
Yeah, the original show, when I watched it, had promise. I could even forgive some of the weird deviations they did with, like, the language. Because, like, honestly, I don't think Alucard would curse like that. But I forgave it at that time. But now, since the other seasons come out, I'm just like, stop it, end it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna look at this video in question because I don't think I reviewed this one while I was on camera for that Monday morning show. My problem with the Castlevania Nocturne show and the writing therein and all lol tier Reddit bait comments, just like I have with the dialogue in Avowed, is that the dialogue is piss poor. And I do not want to hear modern day talking points and modern day speech in my period piece dramas. If you're making what effectively has to be a period piece drama, you should be capable of focusing on that dialogue in that game that way. You should not be doing what they're doing with this, and I hate it. Speaking of Gunner games, Shift Up is going to make money with a new Evangelion event in Nikki. Make a post about it in Printing Press Express, please. Alright, let's go chat.
Come to you today with no makeup, no eyebrows, no hair, because this... oh my gosh. This video had to get filmed. I was in Discord when they dropped the first sneak peek photo. I ran to my Discord server and...
She ran to the tip! Cause she ran to see the dick!
I was like, chat, did you see it? They were like, yes. And you can thank my Discord server members because they're the ones that convinced me to film this video. So here—
Bullied by her gooners to goon live on camera for everybody to see.
Here I am. It is 2:01 a.m. and we're gonna react to the Love in Deep Space Tomorrow's Catch 22 trailer. It's only 3 minutes, so like, how much damage can they do in 3 minutes? Wait. I should listen with headphones so I can get like ASMR. We're gonna try not to freak out. Like, we're gonna keep it very, very demure, very mindful. We are debutantes after all.
Very demure.
No, you're not.
Very mindful. Legs soaked. Floor ruined. Hair a mess.
Don't say that.
Radiation contamination. Wait, I can't read. Oh my gosh, I'm dyslexic, please. Radiation contamination chaos.
The
Several
bisexual
years
colors.
ago, an unpredicted disaster plunged the city into a lunatic abyss. Craving mutation, losing control, the prisoners. Oh, they're prisoners! Sorry.
Of course.
Wow.
Women love prisoners.
The prisoners in danger have been excited? Girl, I'm excited. The deception of the descent of that man. Okay, predators. So one of my Discord server was talking about this. They have code names, and all their code names are like Greek, and they all mean something. Girl. Okay. I was just gonna say that one of their code names means king or master, and it's Black History Month, so I can't call nobody master, but like king.
It's Black History Month. I can't be seen getting on my knees in front of these men.
I can't be seen kneeling in front of the white man with chains on. I can't do that. It's not weird, guys.
Black women were a mistake. Black good women were a mistake. You're playing upon these people. Cannot be allowed to continue. Gooners, you have to get better standards.
Yes, I say this as I'm shaking my head.
Shh, calm down. Ugh, girl, get it together.
What am I to you?
Boom shakalaka! She's already dead. She's already dead. She's already dead, chat. That's all it took. One ASMR line. That's all it took. Niagara Falls.
Yes, God! Yes! You have to put your headphones on. You have to put your headphones on. You have to put your headphones on. I felt that in my soul. Like my heart. Shh, it's 1 a.m.
This is the most kissless virgin you have ever seen. Again, I repeat the bit. I'm gonna caress your face as I say this, chat. This is the most dog shit. This is the most dog shit thing that I have ever seen. It is the biggest piece of dog shit.
That was also giving NCT. I don't know how to explain it, but it just kind of felt like, rah, black on black. You know what I mean.
What am I to you? A madman? A monster? Or just
the reaction taking cringe, dude.
Men in chains. I say again, black women were mistaken. Black women were mistaken.
Raphael, the leader of Flow and Fire. That's not gonna lie, that's a lame gang name or whatever you want to call it, but Rebel Vanguard, okay.
I don't know what I'll do to you. What?
I swear half the lines are just these people breathing. Like the voice actors literally come in for the studio and it's like, all right, can you go over line 42? And the line is literally just, they just into the mic all day long, and I'm here for it. I like it. Wait, what? Zane.
Since you chose to enter this realm.
Oh, Caleb? Wait, they're going by so quick. First of all, Raphael.
Full prisoner.
Raphael Sanity is like in the 90s.
I'll do to you.
Oh my gosh, Zane.
What?
Immediately back to the finger. She's immediately back to the finger.
He's in the 70s for Sanity.
To enter this realm.
Caleb. I don't know much about Caleb because I'm very behind the story. But we stan. I be reading him on like AO3 or whatever. We
stand. We bend. We bend over. We bend over.
You know what I mean? Like, just, you can't have a whole fucking lecture for like 15 minutes about how you're not a gooner and then you go on AO3.
I feel like it's unnecessary. This amount of preamble for penis is unnecessary. Like, I don't need to sign a terms and conditions form.
You don't even get penis in this game.
Well, for some people, as Horror is demonstrating in the chat, the amount of preamble that this game gives you around the material that is also still dog water. The women that choose to use this as replacement for, you know, going out and just getting some penis, the amount of preamble that you guys go through, the amount of money that you're willing to spend to get some of the most dog shit ASMR experiences because you, like the men, want that feeling of desire, you know, carnal scratching at the walls. Let me at him. I'm gonna put a baby in her. Let me at him. You could do better.
We need to go dog mode, like.
Sorry.
Scared. Keep this up, and you'll regret it.
And she's just falling out.
the way he shoved it in his mouth.
Scared.
Oh my gosh, this is digital footprint. This is gonna be on the internet forever. I've posted worse.
This up, and you'll regret it.
Barely any agitation between that sentence.
Digital footprint. This is gonna be on the internet forever. I've posted worse.
3 seconds of thought. Digital footprint. This will be on the internet forever. People will see me gooning to fictional men. You know, I've posted worse.
And you'll regret it.
I don't even know what her barometer for worse is.
Sandy.
That's probably the most concerning part.
55.
monster. Okay, did you like that?
Fold.
Oh
fold,
my gosh,
fold,
they need to like
fold,
put a shirt on these
fold,
men. This is ridiculous.
fold,
They got their
fold.
whole chi-chis out.
She just folds every time. Like a lawn chair.
Okay, did you like that? How did it feel to watch me?
Yes! Yes, Lord, yes!
We have found a Silas enjoyer.
Wow. 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 See, you have to have your headphones on. I'm not gonna lie, it's a completely different experience.
You helped me.
I have the opinion that she probably doesn't whore. I choose not to try and use totality opinions about people who play a certain type of game, but I have the opinion of content creators that record themselves reacting like this on camera, and it's clearly not established that they're just doing a bit. It might be possible that in her NB queer lifestyle, she does not slang or get slang.
From outside the cage, come just a little more.
Back to the finger!
Just a little more.
Every single time, she puts her hand in her goddamn mouth, and it's like, oh.
Your idea of help is hard.
What have you walked in on? You have walked in on the call-in section of Call-In with Carl, where we are now witnessing the other parts of the videos that I did not review on camera for Love and Deep Space. Everybody say thanks, Saf.
Now you'll never fly away, my little bird.
And she's dead.
He acting like he don't like it. This is exactly, Silas woke up and he said,
Yes, Horror, you have in fact shown us worse. You will be showing us worse in the future as well.
can't wait for this. This is his idea of fun. I'm not, the other guys, but Silas, yeah, Silas.
Don't be scared. You'll be over soon enough. Then you'll never leave me. The path is treacherous. So why don't we lose ourselves in each other? Exposing your weaknesses to a monster.
I was gonna say Savior, my man, but oh my gosh, he looked like he going in to eat me low-key. I mean, like kiss.
They called us gooners. They said, how dare you? How dare you look at women? You look at this image and you tell me that this is legal. I need to make a meme clip of just me like this. In frame. Let me settle up. Somebody can do it for me. Just this image of me and just underneath it, absolute dog shit. Any clippers? Any clippers in chat? Any clippers? Just absolute dog shit.
Oh my gosh, like kiss so aggressively, he's gonna like eat my foot. Don't be weird. Don't make this weird. This is not a gooner game. See, this right here, this would scare me. I don't like that. That's skewy.
Treacherous. So why don't we lose ourselves in each other? Exposing your weaknesses to a monster. Lost. You chose to remain in this cage. You're not allowed to leave as you please.
I just want to say that this week I realized that there's a potential that I might actually die alone due to my lack of like longing for any social environment. So I started looking up speed dating in Atlanta.
She lives in She lives in my area. Also, there's your answer, horror. She is in fact sexless, kissless. Confirmed, no dick. Speed dating. Put her in the same section as Rihanna, the Womanican.
I didn't want to spoil it for you, but you know.
This might actually
There
go.
it is.
This might actually go in the Womanican video. This might actually go in as another case example of failed daughters. Failed daughters.
And now here I am, watching a Love and Deep Space trailer at 2 a.m. And I'm not saying they're connected, but there might be a connection. There might be a connection. I don't know how, but I'm too content right now. I'm too happy. I like it.
Why don't you touch me and find out? You moved. Where'd all that courage go?
Caleb scares me. I'm frightened. Shivered in my timbers. I indeed shivered in my timbers. What is this
I don't
sandy
think that's the
cloud down here?
timber
Y'all see
she's
this?
talking about.
Someone's leaving this cage pregnant, and it's not gonna be me.
Pray.
That's ridiculous. Drag to examine his body.
Your hand is warm. Too scared to open the cage.
She's just gaping. She's literally pogging. Every single scene, she's just pogging.
It's a pog
Yes.
moment.
Yes, what the heck? I'm terrified. You scare me.
She keeps saying that she's scared, but she keeps giggling. Fuck boys, what does this mean? Fuck boys, what does this mean?
She's scare aroused.
I feel shame that I even made that joke. As a card-carrying member of the Fuckboy Association of America, we disavow actions of goonettes like this. We will not touch this.
Understandable.
How you gonna say special daily outfit? That man is naked. Oh, look at him.
But he's not.
Praying for help, because this is ridiculous.
Eh. The white silver doesn't go as hard as the black. That's just bad costuming.
One more time. Sorry, one more time. One more time.
Like
That is-
there's no accents for the upper body part piece. It's literally just like it's like pseudo bondage gear.
It's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Like the
There's
back
no
is
reason
exposed.
why you...
There's no extension. There's no extensification for the back tattoos. A lot of the chest is just left uncovered with absolutely no detailing and accenting marks to pull attention to that zone. It's just pectorals, muscles, abdominals, and that's it.
You should have gotten your tattoo that low down. What was your conversation with the tattoo artist? No, move it lower. Lower. In fact, let me just sitting there double cheeked of getting a tattoo. So dramatic. So dramatic.
And She's back to Goonie?
I love him. I do. Morning, noon, and night, I think of him.
So, interesting thing about that, Carl, that is like the more submissive character.
Mm-hmm.
To the submissive of the boys.
So she likes to get dominated, and she also wants to dominate. Not the first time I've come across a switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, my Discord server, they were saying that this is giving one of the guys from ATs, but I'm telling you, somebody in NCT looks just like this. I don't know, Renjun? Girl, I don't even know. Pause. Give that man some cake. What?
We can all at least agree on that. They have no ass.
Yeah, they have no butt, but it's interesting how they're allowed to comment about men's bodies like that.
The women will do as they please, and if they don't, they'll complain to your manager.
What?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Truth Serum, Predator Stare, Command Relay, Illusion Mask, Mysterious Novel. Oh, I love that.
And then small mini games.
Oh, the mini game is so fun. See, people are saying this is a Gooner game. It's not a Gooner game. Look at the mini games we have. This is giving back in the day.
Man, this Gooner game is not bad at all. Look at how cute this Flash game I have is. Play to the end to unlock the special prize. What's the special prize? 5 minutes later. You like that, huh? How is it different?
I mean, compare something like this to something like Cloud Meadow, like which has like RPG gameplay and like farming sim stuff. Like that's more substantial than this game. But again, I'm comparing a PC game to a mobile game.
I mean, platform doesn't matter. You don't even get to see the video of it. You probably won't even be guaranteed to get the audio of what I just pantomimed. Again, this is still the most dog shit Gooner bait I've ever seen, and I know what they're using it for is ASMR replacement. You put this on in the background, you play the shit on loop, and you just fantasize.
This feels like a Kim Possible game I used to play. I love it.
But you have the visual element there.
I can tell you right now, with the women who are taking the utmost advantage with this material, they are not, and I repeat, they are not going off the visuals the game is providing. So, you remember that scene? There's several different scenes in Dinner in America,
yes,
where our favorite Goonette was imagining scenarios that she was whacking off to, and then taking pictures. Yeah. So that's what these girls are doing. They're taking the audio and they're using it as a baseline. Like they're going into their favorite random celebrity gossip mag, and they're ripping the page out, and then they're folding it onto like a picture frame, or a poster, or a scrapbook page, and they flip it open like a shrine on their desk. Fucking Helga from Hey Arnold having her Arnold shrine, except instead of praying in front of a giant face of big head, she's got a football head styled penis, and she's just in her bedroom. Every single time her parents are trying to call her down from her bedroom, "Hell, girl, pancakes are ready!" All you can fucking hear is, "Oh, Arnold! Oh, Arnold! Oh, Arnold!" That's what's going on here. It is a skit out of American Pie.
Jesus Christ. Or at least Patty got her fucking boyfriend, though.
Did she compare this to a Kim Possible game? No. She compared the minigame to a Disney Channel original Flash game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I mean...
Go ahead.
I meant to bring this up when we were talking about the videos initially, I played like the older Rants games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that was more entertaining than this. And I've seen people say like, oh, you know, you could play Rants without looking at the sex scenes. You don't really need to look at them, but it's integral to like the game's plot. You can't, you know, remove that. Because, you know, the kind of character Rant is, you know, he's an asshole that, you know, he rapes, but he saves people.
Let's close out the video.
Well, you know, I don't think I actually have anything to say. That was a spiritual awakening of such.
What, for who? Mud spirits?
Well,
have nothing to say besides please continue to watch my YouTube videos so I can afford a newer iPad so I can play this game in the highest quality. I want Savior in 4K. I want Silas in 4K. Oh my lands, it is so fun being a little girly bob. This is fun. It's fun. And you know, people
it's just being a little girly bob.
Being like, it's a Gooner game. It's a Gooner game.
Yes. So where Brianna wants to go out to the bar every weekend, she wants to stay inside and flick the bean to Silas.
Yeah, in 4K.
In 4K. She needs to see every vein.
Every little ripple of his muscle.
It's fun. Raise your hand if you have
Sure,
fun.
the veins in his muscle. That's what I was talking about.
And right now. So if you like this video, don't forget to like the video. That way YouTube knows that people like the video. And I have one other Love and Deep Space video up, but I'm working on getting some more out. So feel free to subscribe because I will be uploading.
She will be uploading. And not just the videos.
I will be uploading.
That's a face that terrifies me in my dreams. When you tell the bestie that the new update is on Love and Deep Space, and she has a wall cradle of dildos.
Oh no.
Anyways.
Oh god.
Anything else you want to tell me about?
I don't have any other updates at the moment, but I did want to talk a little bit. Just that whole situation is just ridiculous. And I left a comment saying that I've been seeing this type of behavior for over 15 years of like women not being honest with themselves, and in some way or another it ends up hurting them, because if you know about like anti-communities online, a lot of them are like women who like get on their high horse and try to dictate which horny thing is acceptable to be into without, like, I guess, hurting people in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And just basically denying the whole like romance industry where a lot of those fantasies involve non-consensual encounters.
Well, I'm pretty sure for some of those people that's just them wanting CNC. They want the consensual non-consensual that comes with the idea of free use. I would rather not think of this woman in free use in the same sentence, but it will always be a wheel. Men will say this is what we like, but that doesn't mean that we do this all the time and that's what we want. There will be women like this that'll hypocritically say, look at these men and what they want, they are so disgusting. They will then want the exact same thing that the man described, but they'll want it to extremes that will embarrass men. Men will then recognize that they've been outgooned, and women will sputter over themselves with Coke bottle glasses, saying, no, no, it's different, no, it's different, as the oversized real doll penis falls out of their arms as they try to throw it into the smut closet.
Tumbling out the closet.
It's just it's so big and so massive, and like they'll also try to hide the post where it's like, watch me hilt this 16-incher.
No, I don't want to remember that.
It's very Amy coded, I would say. But, you know, at least Amy, she lives, she breathes in this. She's not gonna run away from him. She'll be like, yes, absolutely. I will have this man. I can't do her voice right now. I need water. I dare not even try. But I'm gonna try anyways.
Absolutely, Chad. I would have this man bend me over.
It's like Double D.
I would have this man bend me over and have all of his kids. I love nuts. I love nuts.
I mean, I'm sure people in the audience were aware of the weird stuff I like, and like I don't like try to hide any of it.
As your friend, I'm going to say yes, I agree. You do not hide it. But, you know, I don't hold that against people. Like, I'm not gonna judge them for the shit they get down to. What I'll judge them for is whether or not they'll fucking own it. These girls, they won't own it.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue that I had, is that they would never really own it because it's like I guess, you know, being perceived as like a gooner the same way as men are is like the worst thing.
Yeah. Worst thing you can do is call a woman a man. I'm not one of those filthy monkeys. I'm a higher being. But the biggest desire that these women want is they want to be fucked like animals. The amount of times which I have been shown and have scrolled posts that are basically this woman that is just existing here, breasting boobedly. Ugh, I can't believe that men want this. And then you look in their media tag folders, and it's like, how I want to be treated. And it's just a woman being dogged like she's in a hentai.
Yeah, like sometimes they have the puppy gear on.
Oh god.
And the little dog bowl.
Don't remind me of the fucking transgender puppy girl who's upset that her favorite goon material is not basically other transgender puppy girls inside of onesies plowing each other with double-sided dildos. Oh no, don't do that.
What? I was talking about a different puppy girl, Carl.
They're all the same. They're all the same, and they're named Sophie and they're named Lilith, and they all have the trans flag in their bio. And they all use that one pink-haired anime character as their comfort character.
Oh, there's several of those. I don't know which one is coming to mind.
All of them. They put them on
For
rotation.
me, I like Washu.
But, nevertheless, is that everything you wanted to tell me about?
Yes, that's all. Thank you. I had a good laugh. I do have to go and take care of some stuff at the store.
Okay.
But I'll still be listening in.
Okay. We go see it when you see you. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Cuckoo Kachu, you're on with Carl. How can I help you? Welcome, Aqua. How can I help you?
Hello. Figured I'd drop in and say hi. I've been on for a little while.
Hello.
Wanted to catch up with that Korra debacle that was going on.
Hello. Yes, I saw your comments. You were not wrong in anything you said. It's just been something that has been, like, talked to death. So, between the news, people more or less, no, Grace left. I guess Grace didn't have something to talk about.
Yeah, it's
but,
unfortunate.
It's been in and out of the news for as relevant as when it's brought up. I guess Black Twitter's getting on top of it now, because now that it's acceptable to hate it, they're coming out with skits. Right now, they're bouncing between, they're bouncing back and forth between Marvel Rivals, fantastic, ain't it, fuck nigga, and this. Since the other two Marvel characters have now dropped, they've gotten access to the Human Torch and the Thing. They're now making here's the Thing jokes. They're very gay, they're very lame, but every once in a while somebody hits with a good skit about Korra, and it's entering the zeitgeist again. Yeah.
No doubt ER is going to have something to say about it too. No doubt.
I don't know. We'll see. If he drops, he drops. If he doesn't drop, he doesn't drop. What we're waiting for now is to see the material in question and how they choose to pivot around the holes in the walls and the traps and corners they wrote themselves into.
I have no faith, but I guess I'll have to see.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. Not really.
No. Okay. If you have nothing,
I feel like.
I was going to say, if you had nothing else to talk about, it's going to move to the next caller if there is one. Okay. Let's see what you need to see you. Thank you for talking. Scanning the chat real quick. Carl, who's worse, Jitty or Melody Mac? I don't know why you always want me to talk about shit that's not the subject matter, but I'm going to entertain you at this current moment, James. Who is worse, John Delaraz or Melanie Mac? Melanie Mac is a victim of fanaticism by having been divorced from her in-the-closet gay husband, where everybody other than her saw through the glass wall and could clearly see his little twink heart wanted to get pegged or wanted to peg. And then moved back into her home with her Christian religious zealot parents and fell down the pipeline of what got her the most clicks. What got Melanie Mac the most clicks? Saying a slur at the top of her lungs and basically postulating for attention and being a part of the Simpcast with Chrissy Mayer. And then the moment that she was made fun of by Chrissy Mayer and company, they immediately chose to pivot in the direction of, well, anti-Goonergate, censorship. It's the same censorship AIDS pig bullshit that we've seen for years. That's very boring, but in terms of relevancy over Goonergate, it has some relevance, but ultimately no substance. She's a one-trick pony. She's one note. She has one joke. She's got one fucking thing, and that's it. That being said, I understand why she's out there doing that. She's got to keep attention on herself. She's got to keep name on herself. She's got to keep views about herself. And that's whatever. John Delaraz, and by extension John F. Trent, is a literal social chameleon who is now and has permanently been called out and denounced by every single group that he's ever been associated with because he is attaching himself onto movements and forces and spaces. He did it with Gamergate. He's doing it with Comicsgate, or rather he's done it with Comicsgate. He's doing it with Gamergate 2.0. He's now created an entire new gate situation around himself and others, Goonergate. And at the end of the day, he's just a religious fanatic zealot. He doesn't have opinions. He doesn't have real jokes. All of his sentiments are zealotry covered in, I won't refer to this, I won't address this, levels of attention. They've drummed up attention about themselves, pounding a drum, that other people may or may not agree with. And there's a lot of people who can clearly see that he's grifting. I can see it, you can all see it, because I've reported on it several times, and just simply called out the ridiculous shit that he's doing. But honestly, a lot of this happens to go in favor of Cassie and friends, and amongst their Salt Watchers. Because he's crashing out against them, and still is crashing out to this moment.